Today is a very special day because Zebedee is going on a big adventure to the Blue Mountains. The trip will take more than an hour from Sydney, and Zebedee was so excited as he got ready at home. He held Oreo tightly in his arms and imagined what he might see there: tall trees, misty valleys, and magical mountains waiting for him. Soon, the big yellow car would be ready to take them on their journey. Mummy reminded Zebedee that the mountains would be chilly, with cool winds and mist all around. To keep him warm, she dressed him in a soft, cozy blue sweater that felt snug against his skin, a pair of comfy gray pants that let him run and play easily, and his favorite little gray sneakers that made a gentle squeak with every step. Zebedee loved how comfy he felt, ready for a whole day of exploring. To keep him extra warm, Mummy helped Zebedee put on his bright red sleeveless puffy jacket. It felt so soft and cozy, almost like a hug. On his head, she placed his knitted blue beanie with a fluffy pom-pom on top that bounced whenever he moved. Mummy said she didn't want her little boy to catch a cold in the mountain air. Zebedee looked at himself in the mirror, smiled proudly, and thought he looked very handsome and ready for his adventure. Mummy didn't forget about Oreo either. She gently wrapped a tiny red scarf around his neck so that the little panda wouldn't feel cold in the chilly mountain breeze. Zebedee giggled as he looked at Oreo all dressed up. The panda looked so adorable, almost as if he was ready to join in every part of the adventure. Zebedee hugged him close and whispered, "Now we match, Oreo." Mummy also dressed in the same colors as Zebedee. She wore a soft blue sweater and a red puffy jacket that made her look extra bright and cheerful. Her long curly hair framed her face, and her big smile made Zebedee think she looked the most beautiful mummy in the whole wide world. He felt proud to be walking beside her, like they were a special team. When Daddy saw how nice Zebedee and Mummy looked in their matching outfits, he laughed and said he wanted to dress the same too. He quickly put on his own blue sweater, gray pants, and red jacket. "Now we're all matching," Daddy said with a big smile. Zebedee clapped his hands with joy and shouted, "We look like a family team." It was so lucky that Mummy had bought matching outfits for the whole family from the Zafa World online shop. Now, when they walked together, everyone could see that they belonged to each other. Zebedee thought it made their adventure even more exciting, like they were superheroes in their special family uniforms, ready to explore the Blue Mountains together. Finally, Zebedee and his family arrived in their big yellow car at Katoomba, the charming little town that serves as the gateway to the Blue Mountains. The drive had been long and winding, and as the car came to a stop, Zebedee pressed his face against the window with excitement. He could see the mountains rising in the distance, their peaks covered in soft mist, and he knew the adventure was just beginning. The morning air was crisp and cool, with a gentle mist drifting across the streets. Zebedee shivered slightly, pulling Oreo close against his chest. His big eyes sparkled as he looked all around, taking in the fresh mountain air and the magical scenery. He felt ready for whatever wonders the day would bring. Together, they walked up the winding path toward the lookout point. As they reached the top, a breathtaking scene unfolded before them. The valley below was completely hidden under a thick blanket of fog. Only the mountain tops pushed through, standing tall like floating islands in a white, magical sea. It was like stepping into a dream. Zebedee whispered softly, "Wow." His tiny voice was filled with wonder, as if the whole world had suddenly turned into a fairy tale. Oreo snuggled closer in his arms, as though he too was amazed by the beauty of the misty mountains. To warm up, they stopped at a cozy mountain cafe nestled among the trees. The cafe had wooden beams, big windows, and the smell of freshly baked bread. Zebedee climbed into a little booster seat by the window. From there, he could still see the mist rolling over the valley outside, while the cafe felt warm and safe inside. The waiter brought out a bowl of steaming pumpkin soup and a basket of soft bread. Zebedee carefully dipped a piece of bread into the soup, blew gently to cool it down, and took a small bite. His eyes lit up instantly, and a big smile spread across his face. "This soup is very nice," he said in his cheerful little voice. Mummy and Daddy laughed warmly at his honesty, and even the people sitting at the next table smiled at how cute he was. Even though the air outside was chilly, Zebedee's excitement grew when he spotted the colorful ice cream cones. He chose a rainbow-colored one and held it proudly in his little hands. He licked the ice cream happily, his cheeks pink from the cold. Oreo peeked from his arm, and for a moment, it looked as if the little panda toy wanted a taste too. Zebedee giggled, imagining Oreo asking for his own cone. After lunch, it was time for the famous Scenic Skyway. The bright yellow cable car glided gracefully out over the Jameson Valley, soaring high above the treetops. Through the wide glass windows and sections of the glass floor, you could see the forest stretching far below. It felt as if the whole cabin was floating gently in the sky. Zebedee pressed his little face against the window, his big eyes wide with amazement. He hugged Oreo tightly and giggled. "It feels like flying." His laughter filled the cabin and made everyone smile. Zebedee lifted his tiny hand and waved out the window, as if saying hello to the mountains and trees far below. His happiness was overflowing. Then came the next adventure, the Scenic Railway, the steepest in the world. The bright red train tilted dramatically as it prepared to descend, thrilling everyone inside. With a clatter, the train rattled down into the lush rainforest. The ride was so steep it felt like a roller coaster. Zebedee squealed in delight, his face glowing with excitement. Mummy and Daddy each held one of his little hands tightly, laughing together as the train zoomed down. Zebedee's sparkle of joy made the moment even more special. Later, they walked to a quiet waterfall lookout. Mist filled the cool mountain air, and a rainbow shimmered faintly in the spray. The sound of rushing water echoed all around them, making the scene feel magical. Zebedee stretched out his tiny hand, trying to catch the drops from the waterfall, but it was too far away, and he could only feel the mist on his fingertips. Oreo peeked from under his arm, his little red scarf slightly damp. By evening, the family arrived at McDonald's. The golden arches glowed brightly against the mountains as they stepped inside, ready for a warm meal after their long day. Zebedee's eyes lit up when his chicken nuggets arrived. He munched happily, swinging his little legs under the table and grinning from ear to ear, while Oreo peeked from the side as if he wanted a taste too. As the sun began to set, Zebedee and Oreo stood with Mummy and Daddy to wave goodbye to the misty mountains. The fog rolled back in, making the cliffs look even more magical in the fading light. When they returned to their Airbnb, Zebedee was already sleepy from the long day. He cuddled into bed with Oreo tucked beside him, both looking cozy under the blankets. Within minutes, Zebedee's eyes closed. A happy little smile stayed on his face as he drifted into sleep, dreaming of foggy mountains, rainbows, trains, and flying high above the valley with Oreo.